I don't remember if I talked about this on the channel before, but does anybody remember a web browser called Exit Reality? Came out, I estimate it was around like 2006, 2007. Can't remember the exact date, but it was a browser that showed web pages in 3D. And so what I mean by that is imagine a website where it's like you're in third person. So you're a character, much like the way the video game Second Life looks, or think of Tomb Raider, or think of any game where you actually see the character on the screen. So when you would visit a website, you'd see a person there. I think you could make it male or female, and you walk around the website. Now, what this revealed to me that was interesting was that I always wondered early on, when I first started learning to make web pages in the mid-90s, late 90s, was that the background of a website was always called wallpaper. I used to think, why don't they just call it, whoa, there's a snake. Slithered away. But I used to wonder, why do they call it wallpaper? Why don't they just call it background? Now, some of them did. I think maybe it was a browser thing. You know, maybe, because I remember it was background BG color equals, and then you would put the hexadecimal number. But some of them referred to the background as wallpaper. It never made sense to me until I used Exit Reality. Then I finally understood why it was called wallpaper, because that became, whether it was a solid color, a gradient, or an image, that would become the paint on the walls, per se. Hearing about Web 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0 while we were only still in the era of Web 1.0 made me say, well, what the heck, man? If you already have Web 4.0, why are we delaying it? Now, the second thing I learned was the fact that there was this wallpaper, that it was always called wallpaper. This article that I read about Exit Reality when it came out said that the original, I don't know if it was the World Wide Web or the internet, I guess World Wide Web, was originally designed in 3D. But consumer video cards were incapable of producing 3D moving images in 1995. But in 2006, they were like bragging that personal computers now, with I think like 8 megabyte video cards, now have the capability of producing 3D images, and thus the launch of Exit Reality 3D browser. 2007, we're in 2018 now, and we still don't have a 3D browser, and you can't even get Exit Reality. The browser's not available anymore. Now, there's a group on Facebook that I guess they're continuing on the project, but it's really not, there's really no mass adoption or even releases, really. There's just like this beta thing that you could look at. And the beta is nothing like what the browser was. You can't visit websites. It's just this 3D environment, and it's a pretty rudimentary 3D environment. All right, let's examine what remains of Exit Reality Online. And the whole point of this entire video is to show you that 9 to 10 years ago, a 3D web browser existed, and we don't have any 3D web browsers 10 years later in 2018. So we look here, this is their Vimeo site. It's hard to believe Vimeo's been online for 9 years. Time has flown by. But 9 years ago, they had their Exit Reality video, the entire web in 3D. And let's just kind of cycle through it, see if we get any live footage.
Create a 3D avatar or character to represent your...
You gotta get a guess the guy keeps talking. Here we go. Here's some footage.
Translated onto a jukebox. The links to his friends are expressed as doorways which link to their 3D apartments.
This is kind of like MySpace.
Here's an arcade game, for instance. I might actually like this arcade game. I can simply take a copy of it, put it in my favourites. Now let's visit my Facebook page.
Facebook was out 9 years ago.
Here you can see my Facebook page in 2D. Again, at the simple click of a button, my Facebook page is transformed into a 3D apartment.
Can you imagine experiencing Facebook like this? You can see all of
my social media represented within this 3D apartment.
Your Facebook wall, now it makes sense.
I can decorate it with whatever I like. For instance, the arcade machine I picked up from my friend's place, I can simply drop it in here, and there it appears for everyone to see.
You ever wonder why it was called the Facebook wall? Now you know.
Supported by Exit Reality. For instance, we can go to a YouTube page. Here's a YouTube video.
YouTube in 3D?
Simply by clicking the 3D button again, YouTube is transformed into the world's largest cinema.
Nice.
Not only can you watch the video in 3D, you can watch it with other people.
I mean, I don't know how useful that is, but...
Here's a Flickr photo gallery.
Oh, Flickr.
Again, a simple click of a button can be explored in 3D.
A simple click of the button. So where is this? Where is this amazing technology? It left almost 10 years ago, and I'm guessing what killed it was mobility, the tablets, the smartphones, and all that. So let's see what else we have. So this is the exitreality.com. They're still paying for their domain, and there's Twinity, LearnBright, but it's not. There's no downloads anymore. Is there even a download option? I can't even download the browser. Ooh, what does that say? Yeah, these links don't seem to work anymore. But here's their site. It's still online. I don't know if you can still contact them. I mean, I suppose I probably should have prior to making the video just to see if they're still around. They still have an Exit Reality LinkedIn page with only 29 followers. I hope I'm following them. And then they have their Facebook page. Oh, these are the notes. So the notes go back 2009, 2008. So I was right, 2008, 10 years ago. Virtual world video. Search 32 million hours of video. Okay, and from blinkx.com, the world's largest video search engine. Well, I guess they've been surpassed by YouTube by now. Let's go to their homepage. Let's see what they have. All right, so there's that, walking and flying. So this right here is what is still around. Let's see here. Somewhere out there you can still use an aspect of Exit Reality, but it doesn't go anywhere. You can't punch in addresses. You could just kind of play around in this little playpen they have. It gets quite boring after about a minute. You just kind of look around and that's it. Now, the idea, I guess, in theory is better than reality, Exit Reality, because some websites you don't really want to explore it like a video game. You just want information. But it was a neat option, and I can't believe it's not. That's all I want to say is like this tech was out there 10 years ago, and we still don't have it today. And I never hear about Second Life anymore. I don't know if that's still around. And this is part of like a series of what happened to the tech. Exit Reality, the bump top desktop, all this tech, it was once here, it's no longer here. What happened? And another thing I'll say about this is it's not like this was a prototype. I was using this for a solid year, I guess, maybe. I mean, at least it felt like a year. And I remember thinking, wow, what will it be like 10 years from now? If I'm seeing this in 2008, and I think it was a lot before 2008. I swear it was like in 06, 07. But if this is what I'm seeing in 08, imagine 10 years from now how advanced this is going to be. Because this was like the beta, a little bit after the beta. It was like the first release. They had a functioning website. You could type in any website and it turned it into 3D. Not all sites were that good. But this is the other crazy part too, is that there were some websites that were specially designed for Exit Reality. So some like retail stores had specialized Exit Reality pages where you could kind of walk through their aisles where they had their clothing items, or if it was a department store, you could see different departments. And it was elaborate. So like this, I mean, I'm not sure. I still think this is the beta. Now this kind of looks like MySpace. Yeah, MySpace was... See, MySpace, it had to have been when MySpace was out. So I think the migration to Facebook had already happened by 08. And this was like at its peak when MySpace was out. Because that's the most I used to use Exit Reality was on my MySpace page. And it was always like 2 floors. Remember how you could have music on your MySpace page? And those like 3 to 5 songs you were allowed to put on there. Those would show up on a jukebox. All your pictures would show up in like this like walkthrough art gallery. And as you tried different things on the different sections of MySpace and then see how they turned out in 3D. See, there you go, myspace.com. There was a lot of options, and it was like, where did all these options come from? Because the browser just hit the market and there was already tons of content from a bunch of different sites. And then some sites just weren't designed for it, but you could still look at them in 3D, and it was kind of funny to see how the ones that weren't specially designed for it, how they displayed. But anyway, this is 10 years old. We don't have a single browser today that could do this, that does this. At least not to my knowledge. If there is one, let me know. And we need to demand the technology. We're 10 years behind now. 10 years behind because I guess tablets took all of the good engineers and programmers. And this is just Exit Reality. This is one of the delayed techs. There's tons of others that as I have time, I will try to show you them. I heard about things in 2002 that still haven't come out, and we're 16 years later. Buried tech. Black shelved tech. What happened to the tech? That's what I want you to ask. And let's resurface and bring back the tech that once could have been, that is no longer. If you want it, of course. I think a 3D browser should exist in 2018. What do you guys think? Especially, oh yeah, you want to talk the Ocularis. Once Facebook bought Ocularis, man, what a revolution that got destroyed, huh? So I'll leave you guys with that. This is Exit Reality browser. You can't get it anymore. All we could do is look at what once was. So here we are in 2018, and there is no 3D browser. I used a 3D browser 11 years ago in 2007. It's hard to believe 2007 was 11 years ago. But the big question, the big eyebrow raiser is to say, now, wait a minute. Did you just say the original World Wide Web or Internet, one of the two, was originally designed in 3D in 1995? I mean, I guess we could ask Tim Berners-Lee. I'm going off of memory of an article I read when Exit Reality first came out. And how about this? When Exit Reality first came out, I thought that for sure competition would just gobble it up, or somebody like Microsoft would buy up Exit Reality. Somebody was going to buy up this product, and then everybody would have, all the browsers would be 3D. Although I don't even know if Chrome launched yet. Maybe it was just Firefox, Netscape, and IE. Whatever the case is, if 3D browsers existed from the beginning in 95, that means this isn't really a surprise, but I like to point this out. We are in a delayed release of technology that has already been invented, just not implemented. They have all of this stuff, and it's being released in phases. You might say, well, sure, that's a sustainable growth model, or something like that. You can't just release everything all at once. How will the companies stay in business? People need jobs, yada, yada. Fine, I understand that. I just want everyone to realize that super advanced technology exists, because that's the issue I face a lot of times when there's problems. And I'm like, all the problems of the world they've already been solved. People don't believe it. And then I try to tell them all the tech's already been invented. And they're like, no, if the tech was invented, capitalism, somebody would have sold it already. You can't keep that stuff a secret. And I'm like, dude, yes, you can. I used the Exit Reality browser in 2006, 2007. We don't have a 3D browser now. There was 3D browsers 10 years ago. There's no 3D browsers right now. They delayed the future. And another thing, when it was Web 1.0, I remember hearing about Web 2.0, Web 3.0, Web 4.0 in the 90s, and I'm thinking to myself, now wait a minute. If you guys already defined 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, why are we going through this delayed evolution? If you already know it exists, why wouldn't they just release it all now? Why do we got to go through these phases and act surprised when new technology comes out? Yo! Thanks for watching the Jonathan Lippy channel.